Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of If I Can, You Can. I am Carlos Cadiz. I'm your stand-in host this evening for Debra Philbert. Debra's a little under the weather, so I hope I can do a fantastic job in her place. This evening, we have a super fantastic guest in the house. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, before I get into all the excitement, let me let you know that, listen, you can view us on Facebook, Imagine TV, Roku TV, Legaire Brands. We are on right now, so tell your friends, jump on with you. So here we go. We have in the house this evening, ladies and gentlemen, the lovely Wanda D. Hollis, aka the Motivational Queen. Let me tell you something. I've been reading this lady's bio, and I think I want to open the show with this bio. This bio is exciting. Listen to this. She was born in Detroit, Michigan, but now resides in Atlanta. She is a certified John Maxwell trainer, teacher, speaker, and coach, the producer and host of the I Am Enough talk show, winning Evening News, the Mastermind Experience podcast, and the Wanda D. Hollis show. Now, that's 4 shows I just called right there. Yeah? What does this young lady get the time? Now, hold on. She's also an international award-winning author of several books, one of which we're going to discuss this evening. And that book is Wake Up Winning No Matter What. And it's very interesting. I've been really enjoying going through her stuff. I mean, Miss Hollis was voted 2020 Atlanta's hottest online talk show. Now, put that in your pipe and smoke it. This young lady is about to bring our show alive this evening. Now, I could go through this entire bio, but I think my excitement will just overpower it. She is super phenomenal. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Wanda D. Hollis.
Hey, Carlos. Thank you for having me. And I'm so excited to be here. So thank you.
It's our pleasure because you see, this show is If I Can, You Can. And what you are saying to people by just being here, look at what I have been able to accomplish. So could you. But you know, I want to ask you something earlier, Club. These little snippets I just pulled out of your bio. Tell us how that journey started.
How much time we got?
We got an hour. Make it fit.
Well,
we got commercials.
Well, the journey of becoming, and I say that I'm still on the journey because every day, I evolve and I become a different person than I was yesterday. But being in the space of like motivational speaking and coaching and media is kind of like by accident. I was in real estate and I needed to get into positioning myself after we were under that 2010 decline of the market where the real estate market crashed like in about 2008. And I had to figure out a way how I could position myself to where I wasn't discounting my services in the real estate industry. And I started my very first show, and it was called Wanda D TV, Real Estate and More. And that show has actually led me to what I do now, which is helping other businesses understand that they need a media outlet to, first of all, get their message out and then to connect to the community. So what started out as a 30-minute show on Wanda D Real Estate and More was my way of connecting with the community, with letting the community know about the different businesses that were offered, as well as showing my potential client that I could serve them in a vast way, which I was showing them that I was connected to the things that matter, which your property is only valued by the things around it. So location is everything. So that's how the journey got started. And fast forward today, as you mentioned, operating on those platforms, I also believe in another tool, which is called book writing. I believe that every business owner should write a book, and that book should let people know what you do, why you do what you do, and why you're so passionate about it. And I'm very passionate about helping people do that. So that's what I do today. I help people understand that their power goes far beyond what they think their service offer, because your services are a complete demonstration of who you are fully. So that's why we're here today.
Oh man, I agree with that. And it's so funny. but I'm going to recommend that book to my entire network. I'm telling you now, I am going to. In fact, this morning I started sending it out to my broadcast groups. This is a book that you need to read, because I think you just prompted me to give you a quick bio of myself, because people are wondering, okay, so who's this guy took over for Deborah? I have over 30 years of marketing and sales experience. My business has always been people. My purpose is to elevate people, to take you from where you are and show you that there's always a better way. But I do it from the point of building mental aptitude. You see, it says Network University TNT. I took the opportunity to start an online university, and I teach all the knowledge I have for free. Absolutely. And you were right in writing a book, because I'm trying to do something. I'm writing a book right now on YouTube. I'm writing it live. I don't think anybody's ever done it. So as I'm writing the book, I'm sharing it with people. It's called the Entrepreneur's Handbook. And again, Wanda, not from the point of this particular business. No, from the point of understanding that faith is your personal belief system. That's
Absolutely.
Chapter 1. Faith, and how to activate it. It doesn't belong to your church. They have learned to use it well. It is your personal belief system. Self-assurance, self-confidence, self-esteem, how to achieve your dreams. So when I hear you now, it's nice being vindicated, hearing you say this is the things we need to do, and Deborah knows when it comes to women and empowerment. I'm going to take this opportunity now to tell those, if you have never seen power, take a look. There's Wanda, right? On our planet, I personally believe that the women are the power source driving us, regardless of how you're treated. Know there's someone in your corner. We got your back, sister.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So now that you're here, tell us a little bit about the hard times, because people see you now. She's a renowned author. Oh, she's finished. She's polished. And I say this way before you answer. People come to a show to do two things. They're either going to applaud with delight or boo with disgust. They are not concerned with what happens behind the scenes. And I'm sure you had some serious behind the scenes. Tell us about how you handle that.
Well, that's funny, because there's lots of behind the scenes. You have behind the scenes of just your day-to-day living, your lifestyle, and then you have the behind the scenes when you take on these different projects. So over the years, I'm just from one project to the next, from one relationship to the next. And where it comes to being, say, let's just take this space of writing. And what we did here was we gathered other authors, and that in itself has its challenges, because it wasn't just me saying wake up winning no matter what, because losing is not an option. It's me saying that I want to show the world what 20 other people have to say about that. And the behind the scenes struggle, or my day-to-day struggle, is just with that. When things get rough, or when things get tough, you can't quit. Like when something isn't quite working like you planned or according to deadline, you just have to change the date and keep going. Perfect example is we were supposed to launch in 2020, and yet we launched in 2021 MLK weekend. Well, because that date wasn't fulfilled in 20, I said, well, let me figure out another way how to make this extra special in its marketing. So I came up with the Martin Luther King celebration, and we end up having this whole weekend. And in that weekend, we released the book. We have a song to the book. And all of these things, no matter what my problems have been, it just teaches me how bad I want it, and I want it really bad. I want everybody to win really, really bad. And so my struggles are simply worth it. They're worth the fight of just staying in the game.
I was taking some notes while you were talking there, because you're saying some really interesting things. I want to also tie into that. What was the competition like, or did you know you have competition to win this award as the hottest online talk show? That is amazing. Hey, maybe Oprah wasn't there. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
During COVID?
Yeah.
Tell us,
Well,
please.
okay. So long story short about that is I have been nominated like 3 or 4 years in a row. And so I didn't, people have to vote. And I'm like, okay, well, I stopped paying attention or caring whether I won or not. I just keep consistent on what I do. And that is offer this platform for people to come on and talk about what they do and their business and services. So the competition is like people that I know, because again, it's the Atlanta market. So, like we all know one another. And it's like, it's not really, I wouldn't call it competition. It's that we've been people notice us for the work that we do. And now it's about our followers or our people that passionately follow us to get out there and vote. Well, people may or may not vote. So you don't know what it's going to look like. But at the end of the day, to get it, I was like, oh, for real? I won, So, and I got this phone call and we were in COVID and I was like, and they said, Wanda D, you just won the ATO hottest media. I was like, I was like pinching myself, like, for real now. Come on now. Where's the prankster? Where's the people gonna jump out the back? So yeah, the competition was thick, but it wasn't competition in that aspect. It's just a bunch of people that love what they do. So there we were. But I won.
Yeah. I always say when you are passionate about something, it comes out in your work, and what you do is no longer work, right?
Yeah.
And I think I always teach my team. Yes, we are looking to create wealth, but we are not chasing money, because when you chase money, it goes further and further away from you.
Absolutely.
Do the things you need to do to draw it into you. And you said, you know what? I wasn't even thinking about winning anymore, but giving people a platform to express themselves. Yes. And I understand a lot now why Debra has the type of guest she has on her show, because you're talking about like minds, people on the same frequency. So listening to you, and I hope that the people out there that are listening as excited as I am about what we're hearing. You have to embrace who you are. If you are going to get anywhere, you have to embrace who you are.
Absolutely.
I did something quite recently, and it was about understanding my own personality. And I'll tell you this: I used it's a software system made of AI and algorithms. It is amazing. But when I got the results, what shocked me was how this system was able to read me. I didn't feel anything was out of place. It even spoke in depth about me wanting to always teach and the need to have groups learning from me and to elevate people. And I'm saying, wait, a software just did that? But Wanda, artificial intelligence is copied after our neural networking. Right? We as humans, and folks, when you look at a sister like Wanda and what she has accomplished despite everything, you have to understand. And I give you 2 aspects about your human brain. And we'll go to break after this. The first is you have 14 billion brain cells per human brain, plus 14 plus billion. And then you have 25 plus billion neural connections. So they copied your neural connections and created AI, and now it's got to the point of machine learning. It's teaching itself to become smarter than us. Where did it come from? So if you understand yourself, people, and you learn to use that power, harness it and channel it like Wanda did, then nothing is impossible. And that's why we have leaders like her, especially sisters of color, leading the way. There is no excuse. Wanda, they love to make excuses, but listen, there's no excuse. So we're going to be coming back from the break, and when we come back from that break, we're going to get into a little more excitement with Wanda. Stick with us.
Do you want to grow your online presence and expand your business reach? Our marketing team can definitely help you. Advertise with us today and let Imagine Me TV take your business to the next level. We are offering 3 affordable packages to the end of 2020. Package number 1, you will receive 1 flash ad at the opening of the show. We will also share your business name, location, and phone numbers, and that is only $59.99. In package number 2, you will receive everything from package number 1, but you will also get a second flash ad in the middle of the show. In package number 3, you get to be the show sponsor, and you will receive everything in package number 2. Plus, we will list your website, and you will also have a 30-second video ad. These are some amazing prices. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today at email address info@leagueyourbrandltd.com, or you can call us at 614-402-7034. You can also visit our website at leagueyourbrandltd.com. You can catch our show on several broadcasting platforms like liveyourstreaming.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and also on Imagine Me TV network at League Your Brand Limited Company. We have viewers in all 50 states and globally. We are international, we are national, we are worldwide. Canada, Africa, Asia, Europe, the Caribbean islands, just to name a few. We are Imagine Me TV, your number 1 virtual TV talk show.
Well, we're back, and let's let the excitement continue, because, while we were off there at the commercial, right now, jumping on little things I want to ask her about. Now, here's the first one. Now, I have a poster here of this beaming, beautiful black woman with golden hair. But here she is in front of me with red hair. I mean, no, listen, down here in the Caribbean, we say your headpiece says something. Tell us.
You
Not
caught
afraid
me.
of anything. Yeah. I mean, what? I mean, people see you and people go. Some will go, "Oh, that's a nice color," like me. Some will go, "Oh, boy, see that color?" And some will go, "What? How do you feel when you make your changes and you're doing you? Do you do you for you, or you do you? Well, I know they're gonna have something to say too."
Never that, King. I never really care about what other people have to say when I start moving the way that I move. And I've been like that. And I guess from another part in another lifetime, I studied cosmetology. So that really gave me a lot of courage and confidence. And I've always did things like that normal people wouldn't do, or people would kind of say, I can't do that. I'd be like, sure you can. Just do it. Like, what are you afraid of? Just do it. It's just hair. You cut it off. At one time, and I'll tell you a funny story, I shaved my head. Like, it was like yours. And people was like, wow. And I really enjoyed it. The downside to that is, I like it slick, and that requires to shave every other day. And I just didn't have the time or the patience for that. So I commend you on your hairstyle.
Trust me. This is continuous work, because I am one of those unfortunate ones. I shaved yesterday, but I had to completely shave my head and face again today. Mm-hmm. Hair just sprouts on me. You understand? My wife goes like, because how do you do that? And I'm like, hey, I can't explain it. It's just genetics. But I had Jerry curls down to the middle of my back when Jerry curls was back in the day. Okay, like I tell people, hey, if you look at me, I know I look like 30. I just turned 60. But right. I'm in the Caribbean. I'm a Caribbean 60. I got my gym right outside my house. I live where there are big open spaces. I always get knocked at when I come on about the trophies at the back, but I taught women's self-defense. I competed internationally. Those are all martial arts trophies, about 12 of them plus the medals. So we down here, we do it different. Oh,
love it.
And then I had dreadlocks.
I love it. I did too.
The reason I go bald now is because the hair was so thick that, again, in the Caribbean sun, I would get nosebleeds. So and it aggravated my migraines. So I sat in the barber chair and I cried like a baby watching these big chunks of hair fall off. So today, my best friend is razor. We shop like that. So hey guys, we're just having fun here today on If I Can, You Can. And you're hearing from a very exciting young woman who has gone places and has many places to go, people to see, money to make. This could be you. Nothing you see here or hear from both of us is impossible because you do not know where we came from. The struggle is real. I say it all the time. We as a people, our life is filled with struggle. But guess what?
Absolutely.
That struggle defines you. It defines you. If you would believe in yourself, if you would give yourself the chance to do the things that you know you can do, if you would only but ask. Remember earlier I said, Wanda, you have to have that faith in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share something with you guys quickly. For those who really read the Bible, your Bible is a blueprint for your personal wealth, prosperity, and happiness. Repeat it quickly. It is a blueprint for your personal wealth and prosperity and happiness. But you don't use it that way, right? You misinterpret it. Trust me. Use the faith that you were born with. You're given free gifts, like a mind, a subconscious mind that knows no fear, no defeat. Look at Wanda. And in case you didn't notice, that is volume 2 we're talking about. We're not talking about volume 1 here. That's volume 2. So she continuously moves herself in the direction of her dreams and her goals. If I can, you can. That's all we're saying. Now here's my next question to you. Let me show you how dynamic this woman is. You've been featured in several talk shows. I saw some big names. My laptop keeps blanking out, but you have been in several talk shows. I think one of the names I saw was Grady and something else. I want to get my laptop, my tablet back on. Now, having been on, and from what I see is at least 5 or 6, something would have driven them, something you would have done or accomplished to get them to reach out to you. Tell me a little bit and tell the audience a little bit about you being interviewed. I mean, this is a simple one, but on those big name talk shows, this one gonna get to Oprah size just now. Hang on.
Well, getting on the platform, and it's ironic because I show my clients how to do that, how to get on people's platforms. It's all a matter of making sure that I'm relevant to what's going on current topic wise, and also to have a message. One thing about Wake Up Winning, no matter what, because losing is not an option, volume 1 and 2, is its message is universal. Its message is to speak to empowerment. And everybody, we all want the same thing, no matter what our background or our social, status is. We all want the same thing. And I think that's just life's fulfillment. That's to be happy. That's to have, everybody wants to raise healthy, happy children and just live a happy lifestyle. So bringing the message to what Wake Up Winning is all about, it's just attractive. It's very sexy. And when you want to, for myself, I want this message to ring in all of the households, around the world, from one continent to the next, because I really truly believe that when we start to believe in this message, then life will shift. And life will shift first in your home, and then it will shift in your community. And if it shifts in your community, then it makes everything better around you. So this message is very, very strong. And it comes from a place of transparency, because it's not saying that we're not without fault or we don't go through a lot of things. What it's saying is no matter what you go through, no matter what it looks like, you still can get up. You still can dream. And sometimes those dreams get hidden and they get smashed down from life itself. But then you read a book like Wake Up Winning, no matter what, because losing is not an option. And you find your strength. You find your courage. It's in those defining moments that you say, you know what? If they can do it, then I can too, like this show. So everything that I speak on, I just wanted to make sure that it's in alignment with my overall message. And that is that I am a dream pusher. And I want to push that dream right out of you. I want you to give birth to it. And then I want to hold you accountable, because that's what it takes.
That's right. That's right. You are so on point. I'm gonna let Deborah introduce you to something called bank. Trust me on that. Wouldn't say it on the air, but just let her introduce you to that called bank. Because what you just said, basically, life. You see, what people fail to realize, you learn valuable life lessons. You're thinking and stuff. Life is beating you up for a reason. We talk about it all the time on Network University. Life beats you up for a reason because it's teaching you how to fight back. Okay, there comes a point in your life when things just start to flow and go smooth, and suddenly there's no because life cannot wrap back and say, I'm not going anywhere near Wanda to get my butt kicked. No, she learned those lessons too well. And folks, just now was so while Wanda was talking, I went back into her bio. You talking, and you can find these: the Grady Taylor Show, right? Wellness Architecture, right? You have Sandy Rogers' Life, Love, and Wellness Show, and a host of others. They will all have recordings. Go look at them. Go check out Wanda. I mean, seriously. So here we go. Here's the next intriguing question. I see you. Well, no, back up. Are you a mother?
I am a mother.
But yet, you get up at 6 a.m. to start a show. How do you do that? How do you juggle life, love, pursuit of happiness, and kids?
It's a choice, like you said, Carlos, everything comes down to a choice. But one thing about it is when I started Wake Up Winning in the morning at 6 o'clock, this was back in 2016, 15, somewhere in there. And it was really selfish. It was me needing to make sure that I held myself accountable. So I made sure by doing that, I had to come before people at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about dressed, locked, ready to roll, not, with crusty cruds in my eyes, no lipstick popping, like ready to go, because it's about getting up, wake up winning, but it's not about the time of the day, truly, but the time that I start my day is like 4 o'clock in the morning, but I want to be accountable by 6. So then I'm helping hold other people accountable at 6. And we just manage, like you said, how do you do it? It's a decision. Everything is a decision. Everything is a decision. So you can't I don't buy excuses. I am an accountability coach and I do not buy excuses. Definitely can't buy my own excuses. So I'm not buying anybody else's excuses. I don't care. I don't care what you've been through as a child. I don't care what your mom and them did, your daddy and them did, the man did it, the woman did it. I don't care. It's all about what are we going to do today? Because those excuses don't produce. They don't produce.
Listen. You are overexcited because I teach this. Life gives you 2 adopted children: accountability and responsibility. At home, you call them accountable and responsible. But 99.9% of the people neglect those 2 children. Absolutely. And then you find yourself in front of the court for child maintenance, as we call it down here, right? Because you're not being accountable for your actions. You're not being responsible for the consequences of those actions. You're not being accountable for the things you say or do to others. You're not being responsible. And, and it goes on and on. And when you neglect these 2 children, you will never succeed. Mm-hmm. Because that's like a rap sheet you have. Think about it. Let's compare it. That's like having a rap sheet. Who's going to hire you? So how will life now teach you success? When you chose to have a rap sheet like that, he gave you the reason life gives you those 2 kids is to see how you will raise them. Because based on how you raise them will determine how you raise everything else in your life, be it your kids, be it set your goals, be it, And there's a reason I tell people, if you really understand life, and something you said earlier on, when things get tough, listen, when things get tough times never last, and it's tough people that last. Things change all the time, but if you're not willing to adapt to the change, if you're not willing to shift your paradigm from time to time, you will find life being very difficult. So it's change, it's adapt, it's overcome. Because your book basically says, success is inevitable. Stop resisting, all right? Failure is not an option. success is inevitable, and it ties in with a lot of what we do on this side, a lot of how I teach my students. And I'm as I said, I'm going to recommend, hey, people, listen, I am enough365.com. Get on that website. That's Wanda's website. Get up there, see what she has. Join her, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. But you need, if you're looking for leadership, you want to go somewhere, you want to grow mentally, spiritually, financially, you have leaders available to you. Look around. And, I am bold enough to say, she's in your community. Leadership. We need to lead our people forward. And when we have leaders like this, we need to listen to them. All right? They are because they have paid the price. In her own way, she has paid the price. We who are at this point, we have paid a price to be here. Are you willing to pay the price for your success and for betterment in your life? Yeah. With that,
you don't pay it.
Pay your dues.
Either up front or in the end.
That's right. That's right. So it was in 2014 you started. I am, from what I'm seeing here, the year 2014.
I am enough.
What
movement?
You elaborate a little bit on the challenges that drove you to that.
The challenges was I had come out of corporate, and I actually at that point I said, you know what, I'm going all in. I have been in business like all my life, but I was in corporate, and the company that I was with, it merged with another company, and people started getting laid off, and they were freaking out. And I was like, you know what, I'm not worried, because in that moment is when I decided that I was going to just do my own thing, and I wasn't getting ready to go and help build up other people's dreams any longer. And that I came to the conclusion that I was enough, and that pretty much became our first mission, so to speak, was that message being elevated. And that's why we have the I Am Enough talk show, but it came out of this book right here, which is I Am Enough, gold hair, not red hair. and it Stop Procrastinating, Start Living Your Dreams Now. This book is mainly poetry, but it's also 107 affirmations to live by. And after every section, you have an opportunity to reflect, so whatever, if that section was about procrastinating and the things that kind of hold us up from making decisions, then at the end of that section, then you were able to reflect about what you read and how did that touch you, emotionally wise. So with this book, you mentioned something to me, you said something, Carlos, and it kind of struck a nerve. This second volume was deliberately for people that look like me. And I made no qualms about it. I didn't. On the cover, it says Black men and women beating the odds and making a positive impact in today's uncertain times. And the reason why we did it in 2020 is because I had some co-authors like come to me saying, Queen, are you going to do another volume? I was like, nah, because there's some horror stories in volume 1 that I had to endure. But I said, no, I'm not going to do it. And they said, oh, please, you should. And then the more I thought about it, Carlos, I was like, you know what? We should do it, because right now, today, people are losing their minds during COVID. They don't know what to do, who to believe, how do I pivot? So this book was like for us, by us. It was like FUBU, for us, by us. And I had to really put out. So if you notice, like it has like the Kenyan cloth and, just certain things that, like the water representing the sun and the water, and all of these are the elements of the earth. And so another thing was in Wake Up Winning was I wanted to and had to acknowledge our ancestors, because I believe that the spirits, speak to us well beyond our listening ears. And I just wanted people to wake up to honoring our spirits and getting that direction, because everything that's our purpose is within our ancestors. I think the answers lie in there. So it was very, very necessary. And I mean, necessary to write this book. Everything was intentional about this book. And someone said, well, how many people? I said, you know what? That's the one thing that I'm going to let spirit do. And you know what happened, Carlos? In 2020, 20 people came on this project.
Faith, got to believe. You've got to believe. But you see, you all didn't realize she knew that faith without works is dead. So she did the work, and faith
Got to do the work.
All right. And I'll tell you something. We have so forgotten who we are. History people. And when I give you information, you can find it. Do the research. You have the information on Superhighway. Until the 16th century, there were no other people on this planet but those called the Abu, or the blackheads, people like you and I. From the time it started to the 16th century. Think about that. Let me tell you something. Corporate life, I share with you. I walked away from corporate life by force 4 years ago, right? And I could have stayed and fought it out, but I had a situation I'm dealing with, and it was personal and it was costing me. So I couldn't focus on two fights at the same time, right? And in all fairness, one was with my daughter, cancer. So I couldn't fight with corporate, and I'm fighting to keep her going. So I walked away from it. And a lot of people told me I was crazy. How am I going to live? The kind of income you just walked away from. Because like I told you, 30 years of marketing and sales, the money is nice. But there are sometimes the money just doesn't cut it. And even though I have the medical expenses, we got past that. But corporate life, people, understand this. Whether it's corporate life or just you're lower down on the food chain in terms of employment, 60% of the planet works for someone else. There's a mere 35% that walk away and say, no, I want it for me. Unfortunately, they're slaves to it. Can't leave it. Can't take a vacation. Can't close the doors. People like Wanda and myself, we decide we want to be entrepreneurs. There's a big difference being an entrepreneur. We take a different road. We're almost like nomads. If we can, you can. But you have to be willing. We come back to paying the price for that. 4 years later, I do not have any regrets, right? I'm a happy camper. When you look at Wanda's accomplishments, you just have no choice but to take your hat off. I know that you usually do, right? Just mouth. And yeah, as a leading Black woman, let's not break any bones about it. They call us all kinds of things. I have no issue with no other skin type. You have an issue with me? Okay, fine. But I'm not stooping to that level because I know who I am. We are part of the universe. And this universe is ready, willing, and able to give you everything you want out of life.
Absolutely.
You have to ask. Wanda, back me up here on this one. When you say ask, that's A-S-K, right? You say seek. So you ask, and it shall be given unto you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door shall be opened unto you. So I want you to join me on this one. I'm gonna do a little Jeopardy here. So the first word is A-S-K. If I remove the S-K, what do you have left?
If you remove the S-K, you have the A.
Right. So I move the E-E-K. What do you have? From here, leave the S, right? So you cover a A and a S. I move the E-E-K, I move the S-K. So now I move the N-O-C-K. What letter do you have underneath there, Wanda?
The K, the knock.
Ask. The acronym
still it comes back to ask.
Ask the universe for whatever you want.
You have to.
Believing it is yours. See what the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. And that's why I teach mental aptitude, because that's what they don't teach you in the business. They teach you everything to make money for them. You need to walk away. I am trying to liberate, just like liberate them from that 95% of people only making 5% of the income. Join us over here, people like Wanda and myself. look at us. We just like you, from the same neighborhoods, went through the same trials, but we are on the 5% side that is making 95% of the income. Come on, people, wake up. Wanda, are you aware? I'm not sure if it's over by you, but here in the Caribbean, we're celebrating Women's History Month.
Yes.
Yeah. Because when I heard it, it was the first time I was hearing it, to be quite honest. I knew that they would have had Black History Month and da-da-da-da-da. But when I saw it being championed by a couple of my friends here who are top-notch women, I've interviewed a couple of them on my show, my own podcast, videocast. Listen to me. That impressed me. Ladies, let me just talk about you women here now. Wanda, rock back. If you understand the value of the women in our society, you, the men, would treat them a lot better, with a lot more respect than you're giving them now. If you could humble yourself and bury your ego, because if you notice, women never have egos. They are guided by intuition. Look at all the countries where women lead. And don't you for a minute think that because they're guided by intuition, that they cannot turn on you in a heartbeat and rip you to shreds. If you think that you are aggressive as a male, get behind the fence. The female species, from the ant to the lioness to the female, are the most aggressive, yet they're most loving and nurturing and caring. They have been trodden down because of misinformation. Wanda, my dear, I have all my rib, every last one. You didn't come from any part of me. You were created special. That's why you procreate this earth. That's why you have the senses, the gifts that were given to you. That's why 5 million of you were put to death by a certain religious faction for the gifts that they did not have. So people understand who we here with. We're the powerhouse here. You understand? Here. Now, Wanda, I could elaborate on it, but I want, when we come back from the break, but before the break, I want you to talk to me, because I have something to throw on that, on procrastination versus your time. So let's do that before we go to our break. Give me your little clip on that.
Well, as far as time goes, one thing about time, and this is lovely part of time, is it's yours. Everybody gets the same amount of time in the day. You know, we get the same amount of time. And it comes down to, how do you position your time? Because you can't get it back. So I say to anybody, and it doesn't matter who you are, you should always have a game plan for your day. And that game plan has to be in alignment with your purpose. And it's like this big circle of life. So you say, well, how can I position my time? And to walk down that journey, you have to give up some things. So you have to give up. And I say, what you have to give up? You have to give up procrastination. Procrastination is just the number one killer. You know, it's the number one dream killer. And after a while, it really, really, I don't know. You said something earlier, Carlos, and when you said about how you do things, and I believe this. I believe how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. So where it comes to this time, you have people that value time and you have people that don't. You know, so if you value in your time, then you say, you know what? I have to talk to my body and say, get up, you know, and like get up physically out of bed. Then it's like, what do? So if you know that your gym shoes are sitting right there beside your bed, and the first thing that you have to do is get in the gym, then it's like feet in the shoes into the gym. Don't even think about it. And this is because you have conditioned your time to be in alignment with your purpose, and therefore you don't have to struggle with the procrastinations, because you remove that. You know that procrastination, I don't have time for it. I don't have the time to not take use of my time. So in doing that, you have to surround yourself with the right people, get you an accountability partner, and then have a made up mind. Just say, you know what, come hell or high water, I'm doing it. And then this is why you see athletes do not compete with procrastination of getting trained for that job that they're about to take care of. They don't care if it's raining, snowing, the mama house flooded. They don't care about any of that. I love to see Rocky movies. And when you see him running down the street in the rain, when you see him tossing back raw eggs, when you see him in that scene where he's over in Russia competing with a whole nother beast, it's cold outside. It's like, nope, I can't stop, So now, and that's what we have to do. You have to say that, wake up winning no matter what.
Yeah.
And today is the day. Today is the day that I'm going to remove procrastination out of the way, that I'm going to link up with people, that know how to help me stay in course, and that I'm going to have a target, and I'm just going to do it. Procrastination doesn't have any room in your spirit to hold you accomplishing anything.
True. And you talked about Sylvester Stallone. He inspired a lot of people with that movie. But you know what? Everybody only remembers Adrian. Now, listener, and I like that. And I'm coming back to that procrastination because we're going to take a short commercial break, guys. We're going to be right back. Hey folks, we're back. This is such an exciting evening this evening, hosting this beautiful, accomplished Black sister. Listen, Wanda, there's a saying. I watch movies for particular reasons. One, I like when I'm in front of my screen, I'm looking at the marketing more than the movie. And two, when I am actually engrossed in the movie, I'm trying to find the message.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell Crowe had two fantastic messages, but one applies here. He says, what we do in life echoes into eternity.
Mm-hmm.
And when you leave a footprint like what you're leaving here, that's what you're doing. You see, that's why I tell people, even when you've got to the point where you've built wealth, you're leaving a legacy so that your children's children's children. And that is something that, just quick digress, that I think because of slavery, that one core value was destroyed within the Black community. The legacy, because they were accustomed to, they could tell you stories from generational. So hence the reason why we have this little problem, but we can fix it. That's what people like you and I are doing. But coming back to time and procrastination. Procrastination is an assassin. He's an assassin. And he has two kids, two proteges that he works with. One is called indecision, or indecisiveness, that's the next name. And the other one is, I ain't sure, uncertainty. That's this, and listen, they line up in anywhere they could. They would set up automatic ambushes for your time. Because I tell you something, that brings me to temptation and distraction. Because this is how I'm writing it. You see, our temptations, our greatest distractions, and those distractions lead us off course. Now, if you had given way to the temptations and the distractions, even becoming as acclaimed as you are, there are temptations, there are distractions to throw you off that course.
Absolutely.
Right? What is your shield system? Who do you call? Scotty, shields up? Tell me, what do you do?
Scotty! I was going to say, which one? Scotty Pippen? Or
he needs to read the book right now.
Or Scotty from Star Trek, or
the guy from Star Trek.
So my shield, I would like to say, it's like rituals, to hang off of that nasty procrastinator. You have to have rituals. And one ritual that I go to, and this is every day and sometimes throughout the day, is how I get up in the morning. Do I get up and I have this ritual of getting up. First thing I do is I get up and I meditate and I recall and I write and I pray. But I do my biggest communion in the morning of gratitude. And when I constantly feel that gratitude come to me, it just makes the excuses disappear. If you follow me from that. So the gratitude is when knowing that, I thank goodness, because a little bit about why I really, really started honing into that was because when the first book came out, it was because of necessity. I had just lost my mom, my grandmother, and my granddad all within 5 months. So I had a decision to make. First with my mother, and then my grandmother, she couldn't make it to her memorial, her homegoing, because she had fallen ill, and my grandfather was in the nursing home, and I was in Atlanta and they were in Detroit. What I thought was that I could just go swoop them up and bring them back to Atlanta and put the family back together, missing my mother. But that didn't happen. In that 5-month period, I had to condition myself in a way that, well, they gave me these gifts, and the gifts being strength, fortitude, courage, and also with my own personal belief system of why I was created. So I couldn't let procrastination or breakdown or throwing my purpose out of the window. My grieving was in action because I wanted to give honor to them for the fact that they created me the way that they did. And I think that if we start off our day with giving honor to the people that came before us, we would know that our legacy is about not being a procrastinator, but being a person of results and getting things done. So that's why every morning my biggest ritual is honoring my ancestors, honoring my mom, honoring my dad, honoring my great grandparents, because it's because of them that I'm able to stand today. And if we all did that, then we will remove that ugly thing called procrastination on out of the way.
Wow. I'm kind of choking up here. Sometimes you're talking to people, and I always say this, you see a person's face, but you don't know what's going on inside. The reason I buried myself in Network University, the reason I buried myself in my YouTube channel and my online network businesses and stuff, one after the other. First was my baby brother, who I looked up to. 3 months later, my one and only father-in-law, who loved me like a son. Then my 29-year-old daughter, all right? I haven't yet gotten a chance to deal with these two. Then she hits me like wham.
Yeah.
She alone took 2 years to get over, followed by my mother-in-law. These are close people because they helped raise my children. We live close-knit in the Caribbean, right? You're 50 years old and you're still living home with mommy and daddy. That's how close we are. We ain't kicking nobody out of the nest just like that. And then my number one favorite cousin took a vacation, came back home. I believe he was the first COVID victim and nobody understand. All they say is just a lung infection. And boom. I had 6 of them. Oh, and my father. All right, so 6 of them. One after the other. I was like, what's happening here? So I understand what you're saying. All right, but my daughter was the worst. That's like cutting your heart out with a spoon. Okay, no parent should have to deal with that. That took me 2 years. So here I am. From the point I decided, okay, I have to recapture my sense of self. Here I am a year later. I'm interviewing someone like you. I'm hosting my friend's show. And I always have to give Debra real props because when Deborah, myself, and another friend, her friend Phyllis, met. We met online. We have never yet met in person. For the last year, we've been commuting online. They have been part of my network university. And today, when I look a year later, and Deborah has this fantastic show, and she's doing such great work with Imagine TV, I'm like, okay, yeah, my purpose is really working. I know what I'm here for. And same thing with you. You know what you're here for. You're working that purpose. It was born out of, oh, you know what that is? That is like when the AI suddenly becomes aware. Because we continuously become aware, but we miss our aware moments. And that is the difference with women. Your intuition doesn't allow you to miss your aware moments. You understand? Listen to me. We have just a few more minutes. I could go on and on and on. You're amazing to talk to. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to really thank Wanda Hollis for showing up, sharing her life with us, accomplishments, all that she's been through to reach where she is. I'm saying to you, get her book, go on her website. As a matter of fact, my entire organization right now is roughly about 125,000 people. Everybody is going to get the message. This is the book to read, right? Wanda, in closing, tell our audience too about your websites, where to find you, where to go look. It's yours.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you for this network. This has been an amazing experience. You can simply find my book by going to wanda.wakeupwinningvolume2.com. That's VOL2.com. Wanda.wakeupwinningVOL2.com. You can find me on all social media platforms. Just look for my name, Wanda D. Hollis. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, you name it, I'm there. Instagram, Clubhouse, you name it. What we're doing is just trying to make sure that people get what they need. You can call on me if you would like any help with accountability sessions or strategizing your business plan. And then we meet on the I Am Enough talk show every first and third Sunday with the chef inside of Atlanta's very own I should say I Am Enough talk show, and we do a set called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. So if you're in the area of Atlanta or you're coming this way and you want to come meet me live, let's do it. Let's hang out. Let's really bring back table talk discussions and figuring out how to do life together and to make this place a better place. And my website, my personal website is IamEnough365.com. IamEnough365.com. And I'm simply reachable and we can talk. So let's talk.
Wow. You heard it, folks, right here on If You Can, I Can. And yeah, this is what this show is about too. Helping to edify you, bring you great content, and bring you content that you can take action with. And that is key. Take action, right? You can also find Network University TNT on the YouTube channel, and I'm on Facebook. We love having you. We are happy that you tuned in with us. And so, look out for us. Next date is coming up. Don't know who it'll be. Don't know if I'll be back, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is If I Can, You Can, the Debra Philbert Show. Thank you for being here, folks.